So as you can see here, I have my M18 miter saw back in the shop, and this station was actually holding my Kapex 120, but of course we have the Kapex stand, so I'm going to modify this so that it fits the Milwaukee miter saw. And so what I want to do is I've already established the fact that it's too short, or this throughway is too narrow for the saw, so I'm going to have to cut out sections on both sides. So what I could do is just cut it all the way back on both sides. That will simplify it. But if I cut it out like that, I'm going to have to cut right here. I have to cut all 4 of these off as well. The other thing that I realize I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to raise it, because the height of the miter saw, the base, is lower. So when I set the saw in here, it's going to be sitting, it's not going to be level with this plane here. So I'm going to have to raise everything up. So I think I had all these designs drawn out here where I was basically cutting around the shape, but I think to simplify it, I'm just going to cut directly down here, and then cut off these edges here, probably with the Sawzall, and then set the saw in there and then see what I can do to configure around it. What I may have to do is I may have to add in a piece of wood here and here to narrow that up. But yeah, so let's start with that. All right guys, so as you can see here, I have the stand fitted for this particular saw. It's nothing elegant, it's nothing pretty, it's not meant to be, it's just a functional part of the shop. So if you take a look right here in this section, I use the existing brace. I just turned the orientation to vertical as opposed to horizontal to get me the same level of distance from this piece of wood to here, because obviously when I took this portion out, this portion was kind of able to tilt out, and that gives me the ability to, when I put the table up, for it to be at least close to level with the miter saw here. Now if you notice later on in the video, I decided to go ahead and I did this right here, where I just put a strip on here to hold this together. A couple things I noticed: the distance between here and the opposite side was not the same. And then the other thing is too, I realized that this is going to require more modification over time, or a total rebuild. So I just wanted it to be functional. Now I still may go ahead and cut the portions to fit in between here and then remove these outer portions, but this was just a quicker fix. And if you notice, on the back I did the same thing. I put one here and then I also put one there. That's just to get through the project so that it functions in the way that I hope for it to function. So as you can see, we have the extension of the wings on both sides. So come up here here, and that gives me a nice little space to be able to utilize to support material on both sides of the saw. Now a couple things that I noticed: the saw may be a little bit cattywampus within this spot, because I realized, what I ended up learning is the portion, one side is actually deeper than the other side, so I have to kind of figure out how to get it turned properly. But for right now, I have adequate support on each side. What I want to do is probably put in some T-track just for fun along here, maybe put on a fence, or maybe put some T-track going in this direction and then a T-track across here, so I can put a fence to put it more in line with this, and then have a stop block on each side. And this is just simply for fun, basically, just to see, you know, what I can do and how much I can get done in regards to just tinkering around in the shop. That'll add a lot more functionality to this particular setup. As I mentioned before, originally this stand was built for this particular miter saw, which is the Kapex 120. And the things that I learned is the base here is thicker on the Kapex 120, or taller, so I had to make a modification by putting extra wood inside of this portion here to raise the saw up. The other thing is the Kapex is a lot narrower than the Milwaukee, so that's the reason why I had to make all the modifications. This setup right here is going to give me the opportunity to take it along with my Milwaukee table saw, even my 7 1/4. I can take them outside if I want to do projects outside, because sometimes things get congested here in the shop. And then also too, with the YouTube channel, I think people may be open to seeing me do things with different types of tools. Overall, the other thing that ended up happening with me converting this stand is I now have the use of this particular stand for now to put the scroll saw on. This whole time I haven't had something to set the scroll saw on so that I could use it, but now I can utilize the scroll saw here in the shop. I have way too many carts with tools on it, but which means I have to do a whole lot of shifting around in order to get anything done out here. But regardless, it's all, you know, building and fun, and just, you know, trying to learn and grow and develop different types of skills. So this is not, you know, like a final stage of this particular device or this particular stand, and not even saying this is the best configuration, but it does work. I can use it, and all I have to do is plug it in, and I can drag it to wherever I want in the shop and use it. So the next thing that I want to work on is this particular stand setup here. So I'm going to fold the legs under and then build a base and put caster wheels on the bottom of it so that I can wheel this around the shop, because as it is, you see I have to drag it around like this, which is probably going to end up damaging the legs over time. So being that this stand has the ability to fold and be used on the floor, I'm simply going to take advantage of that so that I don't have to alter anything. Let me just show you what I mean. So obviously the stand, you could pop it up and use it as a dolly. But then if you take a look here, you can see how it looks on the floor, and it doesn't move about too much or whatever. You can use the table saw in any orientation that you want down here. So you can use it in this orientation, so I could cut from, you know, this way to this way, or I can also turn the saw like this and cut going in this direction. So what I want to do is build a cart underneath this to raise it up so that it's about the same height as this miter station and my MFT, so that I can use it, the MFT and those things as an outfeed table. So that's going to be the next project I think that I'm going to work on. And once I get through with that, I am going to have to build another lumber cart temporarily to hold the rest of the wood and lumber that I have in the shop, so that I can move it about in the shop, moving it from one side to the other. Because when you have a smaller shop like I have here, you just have to get in the habit of shifting things around in order to get projects done. And yeah, so many different things that I need to get around to getting done, and hopefully, you know, we'll get to them. You know, life sometimes throws you a curveball and things don't always work out the way you would like, but you know, you just do what you can do. Anyways, guys, I want to thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care.